Hi, this is my first video on everyday carry progression. So I like to start with this prairie knife. It's 440 stainless steel. As you can see, it has, your old-fashioned, thumb lock and brass or metal at the end with a wooden handle. And this would be mid 1980s through the early 1990s, and eventually it became too heavy and too obvious, so I had to replace it. And I would replace it with this buck knife. This buck knife, also made in the United States. It's got a serrated edge, so it's easier to cut things with. But what it also has this curve up. And you can see my first attempts at actually sharpening the knife there weren't very successful because of the serrations. So since then, I've stayed away from serrated knives. And it's very good to cut things with, to cut into cardboard and boxes, etc. And it was pretty much my standby throughout college. Close that one up. So much lighter than this old prairie knife. Now here's the old Leatherman that I inherited. Original issue from Portland, Oregon. There it is. Yep, still works like a charm. Pretty much just use it for pliers now. And this has gone through an iteration as well over the last 20 years. Back in the sheath. This is something much smaller from Gerber. Same functionality. There it is. Good old standby. And this was my multi-tool that I pretty much carried in my backpack or my camera bag for the longest time. It's got a blade in it. Got a serrated blade as well. It's got some micro screwdrivers, and it's got like a flattened out Phillips head right here, and a flathead screwdriver right here. So you notice it takes some effort to get it out because they've scrunched a lot of it in here. And it's a world of difference. This is about 2-3 ounces. This comes in at almost a pound. Okay, now let's move to Swiss Army knives. I always wanted a Swiss Army knife that had the corkscrew because I just thought it was cool. There it is. Sorry about that. And that eventually progressed to a full tinker with a more practical Phillips head screwdriver. How often do you actually need a corkscrew, and how often do you need a Phillips screwdriver? There it is. And both of these got shrunk down to an everyday carry, a standard Swiss Army pocket knife. Thanks to the good folks at Morgan Stanley Din Wheeler. Everybody knows the layout. Fully functional, practical. I would keep it in the front coat pocket of my suit. Just would remember to put it in my checked baggage when I would be traveling. And it was a no-nonsense for the early part of the 21st century. So then, in the last 4 years, I even got another micro tool, which is a reduction from the already micronized Gerber to this little thing here. Blade. Now each one of these squares is an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So barely 4 inches. It's got a really nice handle. No nonsense. It's even got a bottle cap opener right here. And you just slide this back to close the lock. Got some tools in it as well. Now, let's go back to the buck knife. And I needed something lighter, something that would be easier to carry. So I got this, and this is just a cheap Chinese stainless steel serrated knife. So it's a smaller version of this other one, coming in with the handle at 5 inches. This one does not have a pocket clip on it, so you can just slide it into your pocket and conceal it really well. That eventually got replaced with this. Really nice balance, and incredibly affordable. And ultimately, these two, trying to find the best of both worlds, I ended up settling for the Coldsteel Tuff Lite edge, and this is just an enormous blade for a knife this small. Look at that. All these other ones. And that's been my everyday carry progression for the last 25 years. And I'm hoping to get a new blade this afternoon, and I'll put the video up as soon as it arrives. Thanks for watching.